got on the Zoom with the backwards hats. I flipped my hat around so we weren't matching like that. But that's been kind of becoming a staple for you, Peter Apple. Just Baseball Show, Tuesday, August 30th. Jack, Peter, we're talking schedule ahead for contenders. I've also got some very cherry-picked numbers that I want to throw Peter's way, and I think he did the exact same thing.
I did.
New webcam for you, though. You look hot.
I look manufactured. I'm not this tan. I'm glad that the webcam for all the people watching on YouTube gives me a tint.
Yeah.
But I am not. I look better in this webcam than I do in real life. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah, and it doesn't look natural either. It
No.
doesn't look like you went to sunny California or Florida. It looks like you went to LA tan. What's
Jersey
it called?
tanning bed. Yeah, it I'll take it though. We should have lied off the top and said I went to LA. We should have,
But you're from there. It's not that cool if you're from there.
I guess. But it'd be cooler if we lied. But it's fine.
Yeah,
This
I
is
understand. You're in New York. The Yankees dropped 2-3 to Oakland over the weekend. How do you feel?
I feel fine. I mean, I don't feel good. They won 13-4. They blew them out in the first game. It's great. And it was especially you take over that momentum for when they took those two games from the Mets. But the series before that, they lost 3 out of 4 to the Blue Jays. Instead of the highest of highs and then the lowest of lows, it's been high, low, high, low, high, low. And when the offense doesn't show up, it doesn't show up. But we've gotten good pitching performances, at least lately, a couple times through the rotations. Frankie Montas is going to pitch tonight.
Yeah.
I feel fine. I still am in the same boat that the Astros are the best team in the American League and the Yankees are the second best team in the American League. And when you get shut out by Adam Oller, it's just embarrassing.
Kind of stinky.
I mean, I think he lowered his ERA from 6.8 to 5.9 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it is kind of stinky. But Clay Holmes is back from the IL. Stanton is back from the IL. The team's looking healthier, but now Nestor is on the shelf.
Yeah.
It's just not the full Yankee team yet, but I feel fine. I'm not happy that we lost 2 of 3 to the Oakland A's.
Yeah.
One of the worst teams in baseball, but it is what it is.
How do you think the 3 with Anaheim goes? Because you've got 3 in LA with the Angels, and then you fly cross country again and you go to Tampa. That's a big time series over the weekend, Friday through Sunday. But starting with the Angels, how do you feel like that goes? Like if they drop 2 of 3, what does that do to your level of concern?
So we're recording right before
Frankie Montas toes the rubber in Anaheim
against Jose Suarez. I do think that the Yankees are going to win this game. We'll come back tomorrow. You'll be listening to this in the morning, and
they lost 10-6.
They lost 10-4, and which is great. If the Yankees lose this series and then they lose again to Tampa, I'm going to start to get a little worried if they drop these series in a row. But I really do think that the Yankees are going to win this series against Los Angeles. I think they're going to carry that momentum and then play the Rays really well.
Yeah, that makes
but
sense.
Here is starting the time where you want to get hot and then build that momentum into October. You give the Yankees their, I guess, what is it? You give the Yankees their, what is it? You give the Yankees their okay.
I don't even know what you're trying to say right now.
I'm saying
I can't help you.
When the Yankees are playing really bad in August, like we give them that, and then moving forward to September, October, let them get hot. Let them have their lull. And then get hot moving into October. But now is the time to get hot into October now.
Yeah. Were you going to call it like a mulligan? Let them get their mulligan?
Not really, but sort of, because a mulligan is like, all right, a 2-week stretch, but we gave them a month and a half of really not playing.
It's been a really bad month and a half.
So a mulligan, I don't even think works there either.
Yeah. Before we move to the schedules ahead, are you going to listen to FAN on Friday at the Trop, Friday, September 2nd?
Why? Is it something particular?
That'll be King Kelman. That'll be Howard Kelman on the call for the Yankees.
No way.
Yeah, you didn't see that?
I didn't see that. Talk to me about it.
God, it was all over social. Yeah. So you know how John Sterling has had a bunch of people filling in over the years?
Yes.
So Howard Kelman is going to be doing Friday night Yankees Rays at Tropicana Field. So
shout out.
Howard going to do Friday, my Indianapolis Indians broadcast partner who's been a guest on this podcast. Yeah, he's going to hop out there. He's going to work with Susan Waldman. So if you're watching Yankees Rays, make sure you flip off yes and make sure you turn on FAM and have it simulcast.
I'm excited to see Howard's what he's going to say. The Yankees win. What's he going to give us?
So at the beginning of games, he's got this like go-to thing with the Indians. Sit back wherever you are, sit back and enjoy Indianapolis Indians baseball. He'll run through the defense, all that. But then at the tail end, his sign off, he gears up into like this crescendo. If we play a night game, it's good night, everybody. Or if it's a day game, it's goodbye, everybody. So I'm hoping that we get a good night, everybody at the tail end, which would be awesome.
Like that. I would like that. I would like to hear him throw the Yankees in there, though, if the Yankees do win. But if they don't win, I want to hear it. I want to hear both sides.
I understand. He's been practicing the out cue on the WFAN Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. You know how Sterling says it? Yeah. So he's been practicing that, I know. So we've got another Indianapolis Indians at Louisville Bats game, the Reds AAA affiliate, and then he's flying out. So that'll be kind of crazy. But the Rays are on the Yankees schedule.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to walk through contending schedules because I think we're at the point now where we can shrink the schedule. Yeah. We are hitting college football. We got Ohio State, Notre Dame this weekend. Dear God, what a matchup. Also, isn't it Oregon, Georgia this weekend? That's Dan Lanning taking on his former boss.
Hey, no offense. No one's here to hear about college football. This is the Just Baseball show.
I think they might be Oregon and Georgia and Ohio State, Notre Dame this weekend. That is pretty awesome. I will be tuned in. But this is the Just Baseball show. In college football, you talk a lot about strength of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing that exists on FanGraphs in baseball, but nobody looks at it because it's a 162 game season. Everybody plays pretty much everybody. Next year, they legitimately will play everybody. But now that you can shrink the season into a month or 4.5, 5 weeks, we can look at that and see the road for teams that are trying to secure the best possible positioning or even just get in to the postseason. So let's start with the Yankees. What do they have ahead?
Let's start with the Yankees, and we're going to rate their strength of schedule out of 10. We thought you could do a letter grade, but a letter grade is not the best way to do it. I felt like out of 10 is the best way to do it. So for the Yankees, I gave them a 7 out of 10 difficulty. Their highlights, they're going to play the Rays for 6 games coming up. 3 at home, 3 on the road. They're going to play the Twins at home. They're going to be at Milwaukee to play the Brewers, and they're going to face the Orioles at home. A lot of contenders, a lot of solid teams throughout, but some of the easier or easy as they should be is the Red Sox. They're going to play the Red Sox for 6 games with 4 being in Yankee Stadium, and then they get a little 2-game buffer with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So that's a 7 out of 10 difficulty moving forward. The Yankees should do pretty well. Right now, when we look at the standings, the Yankees are 7.5 games up. I don't think anyone expects them to blow that division lead because also the guys behind them, if we're breaking into the Tampa Bay Rays, the Rays have a really tough schedule ahead. I gave them a 9 out of 10 difficulty. But before we break into the Rays, who they're facing, what do you think about a 7 out of 10 difficulty for the Yankees?
Yeah, I think the 7 is fair. The home and home with Tampa is going to be very telling. I think the Twins have won a couple. I think they're winners of 3 in a row right now, but I don't know. They've just kind of lost that appeal. They've lost that momentum. It's Cleveland's division right now, I think.
I agree.
Especially with what the White Sox are doing, dear Lord. But, you've got the Twins at Yankee Stadium. We know that the Twins are the Yankees bitch, very obvious. At Milwaukee, I think is going to be a very interesting one, depending on how the pitching rotation lines up for Milwaukee. Because if they get, a Hauser or something, who I think was just on a rehab assignment, okay. But if you get Burns, if you get Ashby, if you get, any assortment of the top dogs, you could be in serious trouble.
Talking about top dogs for the Brewers, you know who's back? Our boy Freddie.
Freddie is back. Freddie's been back.
I know, but he's back.
Yeah.
God,
Freddie's been back.
I mean, we're the Freddie pod.
Yes, we were the Freddie 2021 pod. He hasn't done enough in 2022, but find me right back on the bandwagon in 2023.
I love that, man. All right, let's break into the Rays. Like I said, we gave them 9 out of 10 difficulty. They have the hardest schedule of all the contenders in the American League. Highlights. Astros, they got 6 games against them, 3 at home, 3 on the road. Then they got the Yankees again for 6 games, 3 at home, 3 on the road. They got 8 against the Blue Jays, which is going to be tough. And then they're going to be playing 3 games at the Guardians. I mean, this is all in a month. This is from September 1 all the way to October, 6th, 7th, when the season ends.
5th or 6th.
And, the Red Sox aren't very good, but I guess the low lights, 6 against the Red Sox, 3 at home, 3 on the road, and then you're going to play the Rangers at home. So that's an easier series, but it's not like the Rangers are that bad either. They don't really have a break as we move into the playoff hunt. And again, when we look at the standings, the Rays are 7.5 out of the Yankees as we record. So right now, they're the leading player in the wild card, but they have the hardest schedule moving forward. I still think the Rays will be a wild card. I still think there's a strong possibility they will be at the top, but it is, they're no lock to run away with this, especially with how hard their schedule is.
No, I don't think so. I think the 6 with Houston are going to be really tough. But I think that the 8 with Toronto are going to be the most telling, because those are 2 teams that are jostling for positioning within the wild card standings. Because like you mentioned off the top, like the Yankees are 7.5 clear. Even if they continue to underwhelm, I don't think anybody's catching the Yankees. I don't think teams make up 7.5 games in a month.
Yeah.
Naturally, Tampa's going to catch them and win the division.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, the Orioles.
No, 10.5. That's impossible. 8 with Toronto, I think is going to be very, very telling. And Tampa could use the depth. It doesn't look like Wander Franco's coming back, but who apparently looks quote unquote gross from the people that have been watching him is Tyler Glasnow. Like there is, I've talked with Arm about this. We love the term non-zero because non-zero could either mean 90% or 1%. There is a non-zero chance that Tyler Glasnow pitches for the Tampa Bay Rays in 2022.
I love it. It's so vague.
It's so vague. It's so vague. Like, get hyped because there's a 5% chance it happens, but Tyler Glasnow could pitch for the Rays in 2022. He could actually come back and give them a couple of innings down the stretch. He's not going to start and throw 7 innings, 8 innings, but you can run Tyler Glasnow out there for 60 pitches, I do think.
Especially with how good Rasmussen has looked. And then, of course,
he's been great.
And if somehow Shane Baz is back and then you throw Glasnow into there.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We have a potential can face up against the Yankees and the Astros and make it.
That offense, you think that offense can keep pace with Houston?
I think the way they match up, anything is possible. I mean, this offense has gotten them to this point. When we're still looking at the standings, I mean, the rate, we talk about how great this Orioles offense is, right? You'd say the Orioles offense is great. It's what's got them there. It's got them here, right?
The Orioles offense is good.
They've scored more runs this year than the Orioles have.
Tampa's offense, Diaz, Margot, Peralta, who had a great game yesterday. David Peralta's kind of mashing right now. Harold Ramirez, thank goodness he's back. Arosa Reina,
330.
I mean, Taylor Walls being in there hurts so bad.
You know what's crazy? Taylor Walls, buyouts above average, 5th worst defender of all shortstops.
Yeah, I just would never peg that for him, ever.
Ever. How?
Ever. Also, Jose Siri being 27 years old is such an underdog story. I'm telling you, he's incredible. He's so good. If he could hit, he'd be the best player in baseball.
Man, if he could hit.
If he could hit. If only he could make contact with the baseball, he would be the best player in baseball.
At least one of them. Yes, I think that the Rays offense, they can figure it out because there's a non-zero chance that Wander Franco comes back.
Non-zero, even though it's way closer to 0 than 100. Non-zero.
Non-zero. He could, technically. Let's move into the Toronto Blue Jays, who are just 9 games back, 1.5 games behind the Tampa Bay Rays. I gave them a 6 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. Easier than the Yankees, easier than the Rays, but not one of the easiest in the American League. Their highlights, Orioles, they got 10 games against the Orioles with 7 in Camden Yards. They have 9 against the Rays with 5 at home. They're going to face the Yankees at home. And they have a very cool series going on with the Phillies at Philadelphia. I guess you could say low lights. The Red Sox, sorry to put you in the low lights category, but I think it's fair when the Red Sox are 62 and 66. You want to hear another team that's worse than that? I mean, the White Sox are better than that. So Red Sox fans, if you consider the White Sox a bad team, you're worse than them. I don't know what else to tell you. You're at Texas, the Blue Jays, going back to the Blue Jays. So you got the Red Sox at home, you're at Texas, and you're at Pittsburgh. So I gave them a 6 out of 10 on the difficulty scale. I think, like I said earlier, the Blue Jays are sneaky because Gosman has not had that fall from grace that we saw with San Francisco. And I was never predicting it. It was just something that I wanted to watch. Could he be a guy who finishes the entire season not like he did last year? But he has looked great. Manoah, of course, looks good. And then Barrios is at least somewhat figuring it out. Is he going to have his blow up start? Yes. But he's looked much better. And I think Blue Jays fans can attest this than he did. And the offense is just great. I mean, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. has had such a good second half. George Springer is back and he's on fire. Vladdy is being Vladdy. Bichette has at least looked better, at least in my eyes. And Teoscar has his ups and downs. But I mean, yeah, you grimaced at Bichette over the full season. It's just not been what I thought. I was so high on him coming into the season, so high on this guy. And I still am high on him in terms of being at the plate. But defensively, he's just still not been that great. And offensively, it's been a disappointment this year. But it's not been bad. It's just been a disappointment by his standards.
He's been a 1.4 B WAR guy. He was 5.9 last year. He's 1.4 this year, slashing 262, 304, 423. He's been bad. He's been like
bad by his standards.
He's been an average major league shortstop. He's OPS plusing 106. He's an average major league shortstop.
He switched spots with Dansby. Just went like,
yes. Bo Bichette should be the barometer now for average shortstop play. Real quick.
That sentence sucks though. What?
Bo Bichette, the barometer for average shortstop play?
Sucks. No
I can
way.
keep saying it. Do you want me to say it 10 minutes from now too?
Fine. You have 2 more times to mix it in for the rest of your life.
Okay.
So choose wisely.
That's fine.
I'm gonna get pissed each time.
Also, I want to go back to your thing about the White Sox and the Red Sox record here. And I wanted to get the attribution right. So CHGO is a like a media site, like a media company in Chicago that is relatively new. I think they just started a couple of months ago. But there's also a media site in Phoenix called PHNX. And they cover like PHNX Diamondbacks, like CHGO White Sox. And on their podcast, apparently one of the guys referred to the Diamondbacks as the lowly Diamondbacks. And Jesse Friedman on the PHNX Diamondbacks podcast said, I genuinely believe that the White Sox would be a worse team than the Arizona Diamondbacks if they were in the National League West.
We're going to go through the strength of schedule and you kind of see how these teams get wins because how many times are you going to play the Royals? How many times are you going to play the Tigers? Yeah. And then it's not like the Twins are that great. And the Guardians should be in first place and the Guardians are good. But I think when we go to the playoffs, there's going to be some teams that just kind of get exposed a little bit. Not saying that I think the Guardians actually can compete, but I'm talking more about the Twins. It's just not as strong. It's not as strong.
I'm with Jesse. I mean, I do think that the Arizona Diamondbacks,
they swept them.
Places,
they swept them when they played them. The Arizona Diamondbacks just swept the Chicago White Sox in 3 games in Chicago.
He made a nice point. Like, not next year, not for the future. Right now, the Arizona Diamondbacks are a better team than the Chicago White Sox, and I wholeheartily agree.
And Corbin Carroll's now up. The Diamondbacks have a brighter future, and they're better currently than the Chicago White Sox.
Brighter future's really hard.
How?
Like, I mean, opening day next year when you've got a healthy Eloy, Robert, TA. Like, granted, opening day is the best day for White Sox fans every single year, and game 162 is the worst day.
White Sox and Angels are going to be so good next year.
Yeah, they're going to be amazing. They're going to meet in the World Series somehow. 2 American League teams meeting in the World Series because that's how good the White Sox and the Angels are. Rod Manfred is going to create an exception for them. But yeah, I mean, Toronto, like those 10 with Baltimore is fascinating.
Fascinating.
And you know, that takes us right into Baltimore too. They're seeing Toronto for 10. That's really hard for both sides. I think pitching is going to be tested more than anything because we know what kind of boppers both those offenses have. The question is going to be which the Orioles, the bar was so freaking low for that starting rotation and they're outperforming expectations. Toronto, the bar was so high and they're drastically underperforming according to those expectations. So we'll see if the underwhelming Blue Jays rotation is better than the overwhelming Orioles rotation.
Have you seen Austin Voth lately?
Yeah.
Oh, hard to
Yeah.
find better pitchers than him.
Right
But
now.
right now,
Did you see the dude in Miami that just threw a complete game against the Dodgers?
are you talking about the dude Sandy? What's his
Yeah.
last name? He's all right. Is he gonna win
Alcantara.
Alcantara? The Baltimore Orioles, they're 1.5 games out of the wild card. Just don't sleep on them. You talked about 10 games with the Blue Jays, and they have somewhat of a difficult September and bit of October remaining, but I gave them a 5 out of 10. They're going to face a series at the Yankees. They have the Astros for 4, but it's at home. Again, that series, like you said, with the Blue Jays, they have 10 of them, with 7 being at home. And then they're at Cleveland. But they get to face the Tigers at home. They're at Washington to face the Nationals. They're at Boston, who they can beat. And then they get the A's at home. So in the AL East, they have the easiest remaining schedule, and they also get the Blue Jays for a ton of games with 7 of those 10 at home.
Yeah.
The Orioles can do it.
Orioles can. They
what
can.
the fuck? The Orioles can do it.
They can.
I put out on Twitter, I was like, is it too late to buy stock?
Adley, it's too late to buy stock. Like, stock's already through the roof.
I know. I'm
buying the bandwagon is like just leaving the station right now. You could definitely run it down like in the movies.
Orioles fans should have so much to be excited about because they're ahead of the window. They have a whole farm system that could look more like their major league team in 2 years.
Yeah. Do you think Gunnar comes up on September 1st?
He's 20.
Yeah, but
and no, Mateo won't let him. Mateo's been awesome.
Jorge Mateo's been really good. Gunnar Henderson.
Anthony Santander's been really good. Austin Hayes has slowed down lately, but he's ruined at Odors.
But nobody should be blocking Gunnar.
I know.
64 games in triple right now. Gunnar slashing 282, 386, 502. That's an 888 OPS.
What the fuck?
He's a freak.
That's so sick. Arm's going to come out with the top 100. I just texted him today. I said I'm fiending.
Yes.
I'm fiending to know who's number one.
Well,
Gunnar might be number one.
Carroll might be number one. Jordan Walker might be number one. Ellie might be number one. There's
Jason
a lot
Dominguez.
of people. No, he won't be number one.
Ken Waldachuk.
He won't be number one. Who else you got?
JP Sears. Has he graduated yet?
Revenge game. Did he get scratched or did he actually pitch?
No, he pitched. He pitched fine.
Did he pitch well?
I mean, I don't like that game. I didn't watch most of that. That was the one Yankee game that I couldn't really watch much of, but I think I saw the final stat line. I think he threw like 6 innings. I think he gave up like 3 hits, a 1-run run.
Love it. All right, let's talk guards.
Let's talk Guardians. Let's move over to the AL Central. Guardians got a pretty easy schedule moving forward. And when we look just at the standings right now, the Guardians hold a 2-game lead over the Twins, and I think they're going to keep it. I gave them a 4 out of 10 on the difficulty scale. They're going to play the Rays at home. They have 8 against the Twins, and I think they're kind of going to dominate that series because 5 of those are at home, and then they get the Mariners at home. That's the tough part of their schedule. The lowlights, they got to play the Royals for 9 games with 6 being at home. They get to play the Angels at home. They're at Chicago against the White Sox, and they're at Texas. The Guardians, they're only 2 games up, but if they just play well against the Twins, the Guardians should win this division.
I mean, it's kind of great that they have Kansas City for 9 games, as long as you don't run into Brady Singer 3 times.
And even if they do, I think they could beat him once or twice.
Yeah, I think so too. Listen, man, if you are trying to buy stock late in Baltimore, I will buy less valuable stock in Cleveland.
Yes, and as you should.
Yeah, I'm on that Cleveland bandwagon like there's no tomorrow, man. The back end of that bullpen, what they've done, the duo of Clase and Karinchak, and then you factor in like a Trevor Stephan too. They have been so ridiculously awesome over the last month or so. That's the type of bullpen that shortens a game, and I think we were expecting that from the Yankee bullpen this year. I don't think we're getting that. I don't think we're getting that from any bullpen in the postseason aside from Cleveland.
Edwin Diaz is the best closer in baseball.
Yeah,
the
but
second best closer is Emmanuel Clase. No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying like they have, Mets fans go crazy for Edwin Diaz, and as they should. But in the playoffs, like you need that lockdown closer.
Not
Right,
only
like that's
that,
super, super important. I know I'm just giving Emmanuel Clase his shine because I don't think he's gotten enough of it. Where Edwin Diaz is like, oh, could he win the Cy Young? I mean, Emmanuel Clase has been almost as good. There was a video on Pitching Ninja of a front door cutter that he had. It was the most perfect pitch I've seen this year. I mean, he's 101 exactly on the corner. I mean, he's incredible. He deserves a lot of praise. I'm not saying that, I'm taking away from the rest of the Cleveland bullpen. I'm just saying let's give him his flowers because he's earned them.
Right. So if the Mets get through 8 and Cleveland gets through 8, it's the same deal. The game is over with Diaz and Clase. Diaz is the best closer in the National League. Clase is the best closer in the American League. Diaz is more of a strikeout artist, so he will obviously get the nod for best closer in baseball right now.
As he should.
If Josh Hader has a bounce back outing in a 10-run game against the Rockies, I think Josh Hader retakes that crown. But we shall see.
Oh, man.
Dude,
man.
Catching up to him. There's something about Josh Hader and those like mint and hot pink city edition jerseys that just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know. It doesn't vibe for me. I'm used to him in the Brew Crew thing.
Yeah, but I think if he was shoving, it would vibe.
I don't think it would vibe. I just
don't think it vibe.
I don't think that's Hader's MO, man. It'd be like if Rodon was in that. Like, could you see Carlos Rodon in that? Yeah. Rodon's sporting a camo glove on the mound. Like, does camo and hot pink San Diego do anything for you?
I'm so obsessed with Rodon.
Yeah. He's throwing a night. It's Rodon and Clevenger tonight.
One of my favorite bets of the year is the under. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, okay. But just wrapping up my point on the bullpens, when we get to the postseason, call Clase and Diaz a wash.
Yeah.
Think about the 8th, like work backwards. The 9th, both those teams have it covered. The 8th, you tense up a little bit as a Mets fan. You don't tense up at all as a Guardians fan. And we saw it like the best bullpen in recent memory. And I know that I brought this bullpen up in recent weeks, 2015 Kansas City. Yeah. The game was shortened by 3 innings.
Crazy.
That's massive, especially in this era of pitching where the starter, if they're great, is going to go 7. Nobody's throwing a complete game in the postseason anymore. If it's a 1-run game, nobody is throwing a complete game in the postseason.
Slight credit to the Mets. It doesn't take anything away from your point about Cleveland because Cleveland has the better bullpen than the Mets do. But Ottavino has really been impressive this year.
Yeah, he has.
I don't trust Seth Lugo. I mean, I think he's a good reliever. Playoff baseball, you got Seth Lugo throwing in curveballs. I know it's spinning at like 4,000 RPM or whatever it is. Yeah. It's crazy, but I want 7 out of DeGrom and Scherzer, and then I want the 8th and 9th with Ottavino and Diaz. And I think the point of what I'm saying about Ottavino is if I told you at the beginning of the season that Ottavino would be a guy I definitely trust, he was on the Red Sox for a little bit. There was bad days with the Yankees, but he really found his footing with the New York Mets. And it's cool to see. It's cool to see that slider sliding.
Yeah. As long as there's no runners on base, Ottavino's fine.
Yes.
Speaking of that, speaking of slow, did you see Hirokazu Sawamura got DFA'd?
Yes, and I did, and I thought it was a very particular time in the calendar, wasn't it, Jack?
Yes. He was like an outing away from his innings bonus or his appearances bonus.
Kind of crappy. But it's not like he's been that good.
Pop him.
Yeah, bottles.
Every
dirty water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sweet Caroline.
Yeah.
Every fan of baseball, every fan of the rhythm of baseball, I know it watching baseball every night, calling baseball every night. Hirokazu Sawamura is the worst nightmare for pace of play.
The worst.
It's actually the worst.
45 minutes in between pitches.
He's unbearable.
Yeah. Unbearable.
So I hope he lands on his feet elsewhere, but hopefully it's not on national TV too often.
Who's signing him?
Brutal for pace of play.
Who's signing him?
The Pittsburgh Pirates?
The Rockies.
The Rockies. Yeah, they'll definitely sign Sawamura. Although they care about the fan experience a lot. That's why they signed the likable guys. Pace of play, not good for the fan experience from Sawamura. But
Sawamura seems like such a likable guy, though.
Oh, yeah. He might be a great dude, but just with how slow he works between pitches, can't do it.
Do you think the Rockies are actually watching him pitch?
No.
There he goes. They may have no idea.
I don't think so. Yeah. Actually, Bill Schmidt, new regime, they might be scouting a little bit.
We're just we sometimes like, are we alienating fans? I hope there are Red Sox and Rockies fans who actually like us, who are not just like, God, these guys
I
suck.
think there are Rockies fans that like us. I don't know if there are Red Sox fans that like us.
I I try to be the Red Sox truther, but as the Yankee fan, and then you and Aram just get me in these fits where it's hard for me not to make fun of them,
Here's the
especially
thing.
this year.
Here's the thing. I'm a huge fan of Rafi Devers and Xander Bogaerts and JD Martinez and Alex Verdugo and Nick Pivetta. I love Chris Sale.
What
I
about Tommy
like all the
Pham?
guys.
Sick.
I like all the guys, but it's the Boston Red Sox. It's what goes on organizationally, and it's the aura of the Boston Red Sox that pushes me away.
It's the dirty water. Let's move on.
It is. It's the gold bottles.
It's the gold bottles. It's the Heim. Minnesota Twins. They got an easy schedule ahead of them. If they can beat the Guardians, they have 8 games against them, only 3 at home. They could potentially make some noise because they have 4 at the Yankees, which will be tough, but they have 9 against the White Sox, with only 3 of those being at home. They have 6 against the Royals, with 3 of those being at home. They're going to face the Angels and they're going to face the Tigers in Comerica Park. I only gave them a 3 out of 10 difficulty. I mean, that's pretty easy, Minnesota. If you can take 5 of 4 from the White Sox, you should win 4 or 5 of those of the Royals. Take that Angels series, take that Tigers series, try and beat the Guardians and try and beat the Yankees, and you're in it. 3 out of 10, I feel like that's fair. The Twins could do it, but will they do it? I think the Guardians are going to do it, and I don't think the Twins are going to be close enough in this wild card, because when we look at the wild card standings, like I said, the Orioles are just a half game out of the Blue Jays, Mariners, and Rays, and we're going to get to Mariners in a second, but the Twins are about 3 games out. The Orioles don't have a very hard schedule, and I think that the Blue Jays and the Rays and the Mariners are all going to be there. I think the Twins either have to win the division or they will not be in the playoffs.
And I don't think they're going to win the division.
There you go.
I simply don't. This difficulty can be bumped from a 3 to a 5, depending on how the next week goes for the Chicago White Sox. Like that's the deal with this White Sox team. When they're good, they're good. When they're bad, they're bad. There's no middle ground here. All in all, like they've been good and bad for enough time to the point where they're just a couple of games under 500. But those 9 with the White Sox, how they catch the White Sox is going to be very, very telling. So I think that is a lot more dependent on the White Sox than it is the Twins taking 5 of 9. I think if the White Sox give them 5 of 9, the Twins are in a good spot.
I have a question for you. Should we go with any more teams in the AL Central, or
No.
Oh, we shouldn't.
No, they got fucking swept by the Diamondbacks at home, dude. Let's talk about the Astros.
I didn't even prepare the White Sox, and you know that. Let's move on to the Astros.
Yeah, I mean they're lowlights in this.
Yeah, I mean it's just unfortunate. Like the White Sox are supposed to be this good team, right? You know, a really good team though. Houston Astros, 82-47, best team in the American League by the record. They have a 3 out of 10 difficulty. They could win. They're probably going to win 100 games this year. They have 6 against the Rays, with 3 being at home. They have 4 against the Orioles, and they play the Phillies at home. But look at all these wins that they're going to get against the Tigers at Comerica, whatever, won't matter. They have 6 against the Angels, 3 coming at home. They have 2 against Diamondbacks. They have a home series against the Rangers, and then they have 4 at home against the A's. I think the Astros are a 100-win team. When you have that many games against inferior opponents, and not just inferior, but like the Tigers, the Angels, Diamondbacks, Rangers, and A's, you have a very good shot of winning 100 games and being the number 1 seed in the American League.
Yeah, I mean, the best teams are going to have the weakest strength of schedule because they're the best team. They don't need to see the best team.
But the Yankees don't, not in the AL East.
Yeah, like now if it compounds to the point where you're seeing 5 good teams, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But the Astros, they're not seeing the Yankees, they're not seeing the Blue Jays, they're not seeing the Guardians,
the Rays.
Like, their toughest test is Tampa. And the Astros are an objectively better baseball team than Tampa.
Yeah.
They are the villain. They are the hunted. They will be doing a lot of hunting. Kirby Smart, the head coach at Georgia, had this incredible line. He said, "We're going to stay as the hunter. We're not going to be the hunted." I was like, that is the most badass thing I've ever heard from a reigning national champion. But that's how I feel like Houston approaches this. They're out for blood, even though they are the team that everybody circles.
Another team that I feel like people are circling, Seattle Mariners. They've been real good, Jack McMullen. Right now in the wild card standings, like I said, they have the second spot. They're ahead of those Toronto Blue Jays, and they have a pretty easy schedule ahead. They have a series at the Guardians. They play the Braves at home, which is going to be a great series. I can't wait for that one. And then they have 2 at home against the Padres. But I mean, look at this. They have 4 against the Angels. They have 5 against the A's. They play at Kansas City against the Royals. They have 4 at home against the Tigers. And then they play the White Sox at home. It's a pretty easy schedule. I gave them a 3 out of 10 difficulty as well. Very similar to the Houston Astros, where you have a lot of inferior teams. And then you have a couple series there that could bite you. But I think they have one of the easiest schedules moving forward. I think we're definitely going to see the Mariners as one of these 3 playoff teams.
I think so too. Since the All-Star break, Luis Castillo in 5 starts of the Mariners has a sub-3 ERA. Let me just say, Robbie Ray, 7 starts since the All-Star break, has a 3.72. How about Logan Gilbert? 7 starts since the All-Star break, has a 5.59. It's interesting, to say the least. So they are slumping at the right time, I think, rotationally. They've got to get back into the swing of things in September. Have to.
But Ty France has been really bad, but he looks like he's finally starting to heat up a little bit. At least he had a home run in his last game. And Robbie Ray looked real good against the Guardians. That's been the Guardians' Achilles heel all season. They can't hit a freaking left-hander, dude. When we're looking at team OPS, the Marlins are last. You know who's second to last?
Seattle.
No, the Cleveland Guardians.
Oh, Cleveland?
Against lefties. That's what I was saying. The Cleveland Guardians, I kind of switched on you a little bit there. I was saying Robbie Ray pitched so well against the Guardians, and the Guardians' biggest Achilles heel has been they can't hit a lefty all year.
Yeah.
You switch Jose Ramirez around to the right side. Naylor can't really hit one. Oscar Gonzalez really can, but Steven Kwan is a little bit worse. Ahmed Rosario, I guess, is not doesn't hit lefties that well, and the rest of the lineup not much. That could bite them later in these series.
Yeah. What I will say, since the All-Star break, 3 Seattle Mariners have an OPS over 800. Who are they?
Since the All-Star break?
Yes.
Of those who qualify?
No, just current players. 20 games, 23 games, 30 games.
Haggerty
has an 820 OPS.
Cal Raleigh?
No.
Damn it. Where's he at?
He's got a 666 OPS.
I thought he was doing better. I'm gonna go. It's not J-Rod, I don't think.
It's not J-Rod.
And it's not France either. I'm gonna go Suarez.
Eugenio has a 769. He's just on the outside.
Is
ready for the
no
other
way
two?
It's JP Crawford.
Nah, it's not JP Crawford. He's got a 578. It's been bad.
It's not Winker.
It's not Winker. He's got a 745. The other 2 guys with Sam Haggerty, Mitch Haniger has an 824 OPS.
I'm an idiot.
And Dylan Moore has an 879 OPS.
That makes sense. I was just going through their entire team. You didn't give me enough time.
I'm sorry. They're kind of going dumb.
Haggerty's sick.
Haggerty is sick right now. And so is Mitch Haniger, too.
Yes.
All right, let's jump into our weird cherry pick stats to end this thing.
Yeah. Also, wait, before we move on, sorry. We'll intro that a little bit again. We're doing the National League tomorrow. Arm and I will go through the National League, do the whole strength of the schedule. But now let's go through some of our cherry pick stats.
Yes, I've got 5. How many you got?
I have 5 as well. And then I have 2 trivia questions for you.
Oh, shit. All right. Let's save the trivia. No, trivia now.
Trivia now? Okay.
Trivia now.
Jordan Lyles has allowed 168 hits this year. Which players have more hits than he's allowed?
168.
Yes.
Trey Turner.
Okay.
Freddie Freeman.
Okay.
Are you going to say yes or no?
Well, the answer is 0.
The answer is 0?
Nobody has more hits
than
Jordan Lyles has allowed this year. And Jordan Lyles has allowed 13 more hits than the second place pitcher.
Is that Patrick Corbin or Herman Marquez?
I don't have that in front of me, but
I'll tell you right now.
Freddie Freeman has 161 hits. He leads Major League Baseball, and Jordan Lyles has 168 hits.
Oh, no. Patrick Corbin has given up 180 hits.
Oh,
winner by 12.
shit.
Winner by 12.
Was he not qualified? I looked up on Fangraphs. Did I screw that one up already?
Yeah, Patrick
Well, I guess
Corbin.
I didn't technically screw it up because nobody has more hits than Jordan Lyles has allowed.
Patrick Corbin, 5-17 with a 6.56 ERA, a 1.76 WHIP, and opponents are hitting 325 against him.
We already bagged on him.
Hitters against Patrick Corbin
Dude.
would be the third best hitter in baseball. Paul Goldschmidt, Freddie Freeman, hitters against Patrick Corbin, then Jeff McNeil.
Second trivia question. Let's move off. Let's move off him because I already screwed up the first one. Well, technically I didn't, but I kind of did when I said that he's allowed the most hits when it is Patrick Corbin. But nobody in baseball has more hits than Jordan Lyles has allowed.
Yes,
interestingly enough.
Correct.
Who do you think averages the farthest home run distance this year? I'll give you a hint. It's not Aaron Judge.
No.
And the three behind this guy all play for the Colorado Rockies.
So Crone is one of them.
Crone, Rogers,
yeah,
and McMahon.
So this guy does not play for the Rockies.
No.
I assume he plays in thin air. I am going to go ahead and say Christian Walker.
Not Christian Walker.
Not
I'll give you another hint.
Walker.
NL East.
NL East.
I was so shocked by this one.
It's not going to be Pete Alonso.
Nope.
It's not going to be Matt Olson.
Nope. You're getting warmer.
I'm getting warmer. Is it Schwarbo?
It's not Schwarber.
Now
you're getting colder.
Okay, so it's Atlanta. It's yes. Atlanta. Austin Riley?
It's not Austin Riley.
Is it Michael Harris?
It is not Michael Harris. Now you're really warm.
Yeah. Is it? It's not Dansby.
Nope.
Is it Darno?
Colder.
Is it Darno?
You're getting colder in terms of where they're positioned on the field.
Dude, what? It's not Acuna.
It is Acuna.
How can it be Acuna?
I thought so too. I was shocked. 437 average.
Damn, man.
Remember, he hasn't hit that many home runs this year, and all of them have just been nuke jobs.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, that's fair.
But I was still shocked when I saw that. I mean, it made sense, all the Coors guys, but I was like, wow, Acuna, of the balls that he's hit out of the ballpark, they've been crushed.
Yeah. All right. Rapid fire back and forth. You ready?
Rapid fire. Let's go.
I go, then you go.
Can I give you we're going to give each other genuine reactions to these?
Yes. I'm also going to have you guess on some things too.
Okay.
What do you think the lowest exit velocity on a batted ball that isn't a bunt was? The two slowest batted balls by exit velocity are both bunts, but the third one is not.
37 miles an hour by Michael Harris. I saw it on Sunday Night Baseball. That one that went right over Wainwright's head. I thought that was the slowest of the year.
That might have been the slowest hit to the outfield.
Oh! You're just talking about balls in play.
Batted ball in play.
I thought you were talking about a hit.
No, ball in play.
14 miles an hour.
8.6 miles an hour. CJ Cron against Reyes Maranta on June 29th. It traveled 2 feet. You got to see this swing. It was like the slowest, shittiest swing on a slider ever, and he just barely tapped the ball. It just died.
I like it. All right, my turn?
Yes.
Xander Bogaerts has more outs above average than Carlos Correa does.
Damn. That's awesome.
Weird, right?
Xander has had a very good defensive season.
He has. And Carlos Correa, the Gold Glove winner, has a billion defensive runs saved. I mean, a lot of his stats too. I was going to keep piling on. Carlos Correa's year has just not been good with the Minnesota Twins.
No, more of a testament to Xander. Xander got a lot better defensively. I think that Xander is a legitimate shortstop option in the open market.
And the reason why I wanted to use outs above average, because that's a range metric. And that's what Xander Bogaerts' problem has been. I could use defensive runs saved. Carlos Correa has more defensive runs saved than Xander Bogaerts this year. You can make the argument maybe that Correa has been at least this same level defender, but that's what we're talking about here, that Xander Bogaerts has improved that much, especially in a range metric defensive stat where he has more. He has 4 and Carlos Correa has -2. Kind of crazy.
Yeah. All right. How many pitches, Peter Apple, have been thrown under 40 miles an hour this year?
What? Oh, hitters pitching. I'm gonna guess like 15.
44 pitches under 40 miles an hour. Slowest pitch of the year came from Frank Schwindel against Manny Machado, 32.3 miles an hour.
That's
Spin
so
rate,
disgusting.
812 RPM.
Used to be cool for that to happen. Now it's just
not.
like, oh, now
it's
it's just you're winning by 8.
Yes.
And you're like, you know who we need to throw in there?
Frank Schwindel.
Frank Schwindel.
Yeah.
Hopefully Matt Mervis soon.
This game needs a sprinkle of Frank Schwindel.
He pitches a lot.
He did. Now he's in Iowa.
How about me? The Los Angeles Angels have a lower team WRC plus this year than the Washington Nationals.
Dude, that's I don't believe you. I'm not going to go check Fangraphs. I just don't believe you.
I didn't believe it either. I don't even know how that's real.
Yeah, I recently saw David McKinnon as an Oakland Athletic, so they've got that going for him as well.
Saw him in the Yankee series.
Yeah, he's got good hair.
See him slotting next to Jonah Bride on the corners.
He's got good hair. He's got good hair. He's got a nice jawbone. That's all that matters. All right, next one. By average sprint speed, who is the fastest team in baseball?
Ooh, good question. The fastest team in baseball. The Cardinals.
No.
The Rays.
The Rays are 4.
Where are the Cardinals? They even close?
Cardinals are not in the top 4. I've got the top 4 and I've got the bottom 4.
Who's the fastest team in baseball? That's such a good question. Give me a second. I want more time.
Yeah. And it's not the stolen base leader. The Marlins lead in stolen bases. It's not the Marlins. They're not top 5.
Who is it? The Angels might be fast.
The Angels are the second fastest team in baseball.
Okay. I'm getting warmer.
Yep.
Give me a league.
AL Central.
Royals.
No, Kansas City is 3rd. So you've got 2, 3, and 4.
Is it the Guardians?
Yeah, Cleveland's the fastest team in baseball.
That's sick.
It is
good
sick.
For you, Cleveland.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about it. Naylor doesn't matter. The rest of them
doesn't matter. Yeah, J-Ram, sneaky fast.
Oh,
Juan,
so fast.
Rosario, all of them so fast.
Oscar Gonzalez is a freak athlete.
Yes, freak athlete. 4 slowest teams in baseball: Cincinnati, Oakland, the Yankees, and San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big hindquarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm up. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has grounded into more double plays than Wilson Contreras has home runs.
Vladdy Jr. has grounded into more double plays than Wilson Contreras has home runs.
Yeah.
Does Vladdy have the most grounded into double plays this year?
He's second.
Who's first?
I have no idea. I should have written that down.
I'll find it.
All right. No, but he has 21. He's grounded in double play 21 times this year. And Wilson Contreras has 20 home runs. Did that shock you, or did that make sense? Was that not a good one?
No, that makes sense. Brendan Rodgers is the only guy, 22, grounded into double plays. No, that's interesting. All-time leader in grounded into double plays, isn't it Albert Pujols?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he is. Pujols has grounded into 423 double plays in his career, which is the most all time.
That's just too many.
That's a lot. It's a lot. That might hold him out of Cooperstown, actually. All right, next one from me. I've got 2 more. Which ballpark has produced the fewest home runs this season? There is one ballpark that has produced fewer than 100 home runs this year.
Miami?
No.
Oakland?
No. They're near the bottom, but they're not the bottom. Comerica.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comerica, 85 home runs hit at Comerica Park. Everybody else over 100. I think Progressive Field is the second lowest at 102.
Does help that nobody on the Tigers can even hit home runs.
Correct. I put that out on Twitter, and a woman that I worked with in Fort Wayne at the Tin Caps, Jen Sylvester, she responded and said, "Comerica, where the team leader has 12 homers." I was like, "Yep, that sounds about right." Most homers at any ballpark. Where is it?
Coors?
No.
Yankee Stadium?
Yankee Stadium, 168. Great American Ballpark and Rogers Center are tied at 167.
Aaron Judge having 49 home runs certainly helps that.
It helps. It helps a lot.
Pete Alonso has more intentional walks than Nick Castellanos has home runs.
How many homers does Castellanos have?
13.
Pete Alonso has 14 intentional walks.
He does. Leads baseball.
Holy shit. He's so good.
He is good, really good. Nick Castellanos, dude, what? There just hasn't been that much bad news this year.
Yeah, we need it. So 2020 sucked. 2021 also sucked.
He raked.
This year sucks like in a different way. Like it's not like, oh, you can't bond over the crappiness of 2022.
There hasn't been major news
last year. Yeah. Listen, the raid on Mar-a-Lago is major news.
Yeah, but it's not like one of those things that pops into a baseball game that it's like, oh my God, look at this. And then he'll hit a home run. There hasn't been as many of those.
So flip side, do you remember when that ballpark in Philly, Citizens Bank? Why did I just blank on that? Do you remember when that ballpark in Philly, when Bin Laden got killed, they started doing the USA chant?
Yeah.
Do you think Castellanos would have gone yard then? Because like that is an overwhelmingly good thing to happen. He probably would have punched out on 3 pitches, right?
Golden sombrero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shove. Probably bench that day.
When America wins, Nick Castellanos loses.
All right, give me one more.
Yeah, one more. How many of the top 5 in attendance this year can you name? Average attendance for home games.
Dodgers.
Dodgers are number 1 by 9,000 a game.
Not even close. They pack the stadium like nobody's business. I'm gonna say the Blue Jays are probably up there.
No,
really,
they're not in the top 5.
Yankees
are 3rd.
Mets.
No, they're just outside. Yeah,
just outside top 5. Okay. Astros.
No.
Huh. Have Cubs fans been going to games this year?
No, not this year. They are historically top 5 every year, but they're like 6th or 7th this year.
Interesting. Cardinals fans are definitely showing
Cardinals up. Are 2. Cardinals are the second most attended games in baseball.
Every single time I watch a Cardinals game, it's packed. And everyone's got phones on Pujols, and deservedly so.
Yes.
Braves.
Braves are 4. You're missing 3 and 5.
Okay. Are people going to Fenway?
No, people are not going to Fenway Park.
Are people? The Rangers probably had decent attendance in the beginning.
Nope.
That's not a guess. It's not a guess. Yep. I knew they wouldn't be up there.
You got it.
I mean, are people going to Cleveland? They should be.
No.
Damn it.
It's Cleveland, Ohio, dude.
Seattle.
No, not Seattle.
Baltimore.
No. How about the place you fucking frequent, dude?
Yankee Stadium. I said that.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah. You said it was number 1.
No, Dodgers number 1.
I must have already thought I said Yankees.
No.
We're going to check the tape. I bet I said Yankees.
I just don't think you said Yankees. Dodgers 1, Cardinals 2, Yankees 3, Atlanta 4.
Yeah.
Who's 5? 3, 2, 1.
Brewers.
San Diego.
Oh, duh.
Yeah. Right. San Diego. They're selling tickets, man. All right, your last one.
All right, my last one. Garrett Cole has allowed more home runs than Kyle Tucker, Francisco Lindor, Jose Altuve, and Will Smith have hit this year.
Combined?
No, not combined. I mean, Garrett Cole's allowed 26 home runs. Those guys are all under 26 home runs.
Damn, man. But that's been his life. Like, that's been his career. He's
never been 8th in home runs allowed in baseball.
Yeah, but he's been susceptible to the long ball. Like, he's a 4-seamer guy. He's a righty 4-seamer guy, top of the zone.
8th?
Yeah, that is high.
Yeah.
But hey, innings and strikeouts, baby. That's what you paid him for.
FIP, fuck it, whatever. All right.
FIP.
End
Who
of the
cares?
podcast. Get your Just Baseball merch, people. It's in our episode description. We got long sleeves, we got hats, we got everything you can need. And maybe shoot us a compliment about our looks in the comments. I mean, especially with my new webcam.
Not
Your
me.
Jack's
Peter
looking
got a
good.
haircut, though. He deserves it. And it also looks like you had that facial hair manicured, which was so badly needed. So needed.
I'm just starting to hit puberty. It's getting there. It's not all the way there, but like by 28, I'm going to be all the way a man.
Yeah. Let me know if I should commit to the off-season mustache. I might do it.
Yes.
My girlfriend would hate it, but I might do it.
Shout out Sam Lucchini. Grew a mustache. Yankees went 5-0, but then they lost 2 in a row. So yeah.
What a mess. All right. You guys are going to do NL schedules in September tomorrow, right?
NL schedules tomorrow. And with that, thank you, everybody.